Hi, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yes, my name is Mark.
Oxley Blau.
Nwabisa.
Lana.
My name is Johannes Verboy.
Russell.
Hi, I'm Denzel Jacobs.
So I'm just going to ask you a few questions relating to the elections. So have you ever voted?
Yes, at the first elections I voted, and since then I've casted my vote regularly. It's two types of elections, municipal and national. So it's every second year, I think.
Okay, would you like to tell us why you voted?
I voted because we had our democracy in 1994, and I continue to vote to keep that democracy in place. And I believe that people should go out there and vote for their party so that they've got a representative who represent what they want government to do for them.
Nope.
And why is that?
Not that interested.
Not interested?
Yeah, I guess it's important, to an extent, but not to me.
Okay.
Never gave it a shot.
Yes. No.
Why?
Think it's a right. It's our right to vote, and we should use that right because
Okay.
people died for it.
I haven't voted yet because I feel like I don't know enough about the political parties to have a proper opinion. So that's why I haven't voted as yet.
Okay.
Never. Nope,
Why have you never voted before, Mr. Johannes?
Because all our leaders are disappointing us at the moment. So yeah.
Like, with regards to picking a party?
Yes.
Have you? And what was the reason for that?
I've voted since the first election.
First election? Okay.
And I've voted ever since.
Ever since. And why was the reason for that? For voting?
I had to because
You had to.
my parents didn't have the opportunity to vote.
Okay.
No.
Why haven't you never voted before?
I have different kind of views towards politicians, as I would call it. And first of all, I was in the military, in the army, so I was under the impression we are not allowed to vote. And ever since then, I never really bothered. But yeah, like I said, I don't believe in politicians.
What are the three things you believe our government should focus on?
I think the three major things that the government should focus on is clean government, the people with the correct skill sets needs to be put in places, be it in the government positions, that is the public sector or wherever, but with no corruption. They must oversee corruption. And the other thing, of course, is the very important aspect is our tax base, SARS, and then education, and there's lots of other things that's important, but those three things stand out for me.
Okay.
I would say development mostly, and investing in the young, especially in the youth, because they are now our upcoming, leaders. Yeah, and then that's two already, and then also invest in education. Yeah.
Employment for the youth. Obviously, electricity is a major issue because it's killing businesses, big and small. And I think we need to attend to crime. Yeah, it's a big issue as well.
Education, employment, and trying to improve our manufacturing sector.
Manufacturing.
Okay. I agree with the first two that she said. Being that I'm young myself, I think the education for sure. Employment, yeah, that makes sense. And maybe service delivery, just to add something else, yeah.
Would you guys like to maybe explain on why you choose those three things?
I think we have a whole lot of unemployed people with skills, and we have like a country that's right by the ocean. We could, if we improve our manufacturing, produce our own goods, try to find places to sell our goods, create markets for our goods,
Yeah.
I think that would improve and solve the employment problem.
Yeah.
Okay, for the service delivery, I think of things like electricity, obviously, ESCOM doing what they do. But as well, in certain areas, there's just piles and piles of rubbish that you just see around that should be cleaned up. And the roads too, yes.
Yeah, no, absolutely housing. I think the streets. I think load shedding is a big one. We've been having a problem for years and years and years. So I think that's a big one they should focus on it, because I don't think any other country is having that problem right now.
Okay.
So I think that we should be focusing on that, because why are we steering away from that? It goes and it comes back.
Okay.
Well, what I can think of is equality.
Yeah.
Not just for one race, but as we are called the Rainbow Nation, it should be like that. Everybody should be treated equally.
Yes.
For example, BEE, my understanding is Black Economic Empowerment. I'm gonna ask Wednesday Brown Economic Empowerment or Indian Economic Empowerment. See, because they've had 10 years, and then they said they're gonna change that. But then it went to 20 years, and how many years has it been now? And still they said that the black man has to elevate himself as to where the white man was, with the opportunities they got. But I'm just saying, consider everybody.
The majority of South African youth shows less interest in voting. Why do you think that is?
I'm not 100% sure about that, but I think it's very important that the youth also need to make their mark.
Yeah.
Because like I was saying, our parents didn't get this opportunity. So now that we've got this opportunity, we need to make sure that we use it, number one. And number two, if the youth don't voice out, then I don't see maybe a future going forward.
Okay.
So without the youth, it's going to be a struggle.
There probably are many reasons, and South African youth are not homogeneous necessarily. So you've got youth coming from poor backgrounds, youth coming from affluent backgrounds. So, but generally speaking, it may be they are not satisfied with the deliverance of the government and with the multi-party system that we have in terms of, especially at the local government level, where there are infighting happening because of the representative power of the different parties, and they cannot deliver in terms of what is expected of them from generally South African citizens, and especially with regards to the youth. When it comes to employment especially, I think that may be one of the reasons, one of the many reasons why they are despondent. And
I think the youth isn't as interested. I don't think the youth understands the importance of it, or the change it can make to our country.
Yeah.
I think the youth needs to be more educated on it.
It's because the leaders fail us, man. Like with that said, like leaders, they are eating most of the money as like anything else. So up until we fix that whole structure, it's going to be very difficult for us to have like faith in our leaders. Because I'm making a point with that, but the point that I'm trying to make is that like I believe that our generation nowadays, they are not that strong as the generation of the previous generation and all those things. So up until we fix that thing, it's very difficult, because now at the moment, like why I'm saying our leaders fail us, because they're not investing in the youth. They're not doing nothing. That's why we have a high rate of unemployment. That's the same time why we have a high rate of crime rates and all those things, because the youth feels like, now what is the use for me to vote for someone? I can just maybe also go do the same thing, because now he's crooked the same way as I am, or the same way that I maybe did not imagine that this is what I would do, anything like that.
I think that when you have so many people that you're only going to see during election time, and you're never going to see them ever again, it makes it hard to engage. And as well as the politicians, they still want to do things the old way, whereas there's YouTube, there's other means of speaking to the youth the youth is not watching SABC.
Yeah.
They doing other things, and you
Yeah.
actually need to engage them in the spaces where they are, rather than trying to force them to come to you. I think that the youth does want to engage, but there is no means of actually talking to the government or to the people in power.
Yeah, I agree with what she said. I think that the outreach just isn't really there. As I said, why I haven't voted, I just don't really know too much about
Yeah.
what's going on. So there needs to be a better way of getting the information out to young people.
Well, I think that it might probably be that they believing too much corruption has been taking place, so why bother? Because if you look at the last two last ballots, they spoke about ballots that was found among the freeway, and nothing was investigated about that. So for me, it's just like why bother?
Okay. Thank you again, sir.